All right, Tony, we talked in the first part about how you got into the game, a little bit about, your various jobs. Now, I'm told that you had a stint, but you've told me since it was like 2 decades, as an on-course bookmaker at Wokingham Whippets.
That's correct.
Now, first of all, for people that don't know, explain what whippets are.
Right, Whippets are smaller versions of greyhounds. Very, very fast. And I got invited to Wokingham Town Football Club by Roy Merriweather, who was the manager. At that time, they only had one bookmaker there. And his odds were outrageous, to be honest. He would go five whippets in a race. He would go 4 to 6 each of 2, even money, 6 to 4 and 2 to 1. It was absolutely taking the mickey out of the customers. And I had a word with Roy and I said, look, we can do a lot better than this. And so he invited me there as a bookmaker.
So you were extremely popular with the incumbent bookmaker then when you turned
very,
up.
very popular indeed.
So did you have any words? What happened then?
No bad words. I think he knew that he was literally daylight robbery.
So how many people would go to these meetings?
We would get on a Friday. It was every Friday evening, and it ran between May and November. Nice summer evening, you get 150, 200. And of course, it was a football club, so a lot of the footballers who liked to bet, they were there.
Oh, so it was actually
It was in the grounds of the.
Got you. Okay, because I think a lot of people associate whippet racing with more up north.
They do, yes. Yeah.
So did you have any interest in whippet racing before you got involved?
None at all.
So how did you not get tucked up? I mean, did the odds take after themselves?
That's a very good question, because I did get tucked up many times. In the early days, the first month, I went there every Friday. I knew nothing about it. The customers did. They had their own whippets, and I lost quite a lot of money. And I thought, Tony, if you're going to survive in this, you've got to get clued up. So they ran a Sunday club, and I decided to join it. And I bought a stopwatch, and I did my own timing of the whippets and graded every whippet. That gave me as much knowledge as them then. And from then on, things went up and up and up.
So was there any official form that you could buy? Did you have to do it all yourself? Was it all your own eyes and ears?
Programs for each night's racing were given to us. Roy used to put his comments and his prices, but then from on, it was what I decided to put up on the board. Then after that, of course, it's money that dominates what the prices are going to be.
Have you got any idea why they decided to have whippet racing? Because surely if greyhound racing was already established everywhere, that it would have been easier just to have greyhounds.
Well, first and foremost, from Wokingham Town's football club's point of view, it was a means of raising revenue for the club. That's how it all started. And Roy Merriweather, he had an interest in whippets, and that's why they started it.
And when did it end?
I got out, I started in 97, and Wokingham Town Club it closed not long after that, and the ground was redeveloped for housing. I think whippet racing did take place after that, but I wasn't involved with it.
And what sort of business was it? What sort of money would you take?
Perhaps I shouldn't say this, but we a range of money bets, pound bets, £10 bets, £20 bets. I even had little kids. Their parents sent them out 50 pence on this, £1 on that. And I said I shouldn't have taken it, but we did in those days. We
will point out that times have changed, haven't they, now? That
Yes.
wouldn't happen now, viewers. Were there any professional punters that used to, would win at the whippets?
No professionals. They had what they call coups going on every now and again, once or twice a year, but often I was told about it and took the likewise action.
Yeah, because there was only 2 of you there. Was there ever any more than 2 bookmakers?
Yeah, there was. Towards the end, it became 3.
Yeah, because it's handy for you to hedge as well if you needed to.
I never hedged.
You never hedged at all?
No.
So did you have your full up limit If everybody wanted to be on the same dog.
I had a very good clerk, and if he went like that, it meant overround book. It didn't matter what one.
Right.
So I was always looking for that sign.
Yeah. I'd worked for a racecourse bookie that used to say, "Come on, all of you! Come on, all of you!" when he was overs.
Right.
So you worked for an on-course. You worked for on-course bookies at the races. How often was that? Was that a massive difference, of course, from the Whippets?
Could you repeat that? Sorry.
Yeah, you said you worked at Epsom and places. How often
that
did you
was
work?
for myself.
Yeah, how often did you work on course at the horse racing?
Not very often at all. I've probably done it 6 times altogether.
Okay, now you've been in the industry since 1964. You said 1966. So what's kept you in it for so long?
Firstly, I always get a buzz going to work. Even now, at 80 years of age, I still get that little feeling inside. Not so much as it used to be, but I still get it. What's kept me in it? While my brain's still working, and the girls that I work with might think that it's not working very well at times, because they are so good on computers. But while that's still working, and while I can go out and meet people and talk to people, I should keep going. I'm going to die on the job. Take that whichever way you want.
Now, how do you feel? You mentioned your customers, and I'm told that you make your like friends to your customers. Now, I used to work on course, and I used to have a bit of an issue with it because you'd like the people that were coming up for a bet, especially some of them come up £300-400. You'd like them, but of course you also wanted their money because that was what was paying your wages. So how do you compartment? How do you put that? I can't think of the word. How do you settle that in your mind?
Well, first and foremost, we're talking about betting shops now. The customers that you come in your shop, it's my opinion that they're not the enemy. They try to win your money, yes, but you should be polite and friendly to them at all times. Make friends with them, have a laugh with them, and they hopefully come back. Okay,
so you say you're going to work with that feeling every day and you love it. You've got a sparkle in your eye. I can see this when you're talking about it. What's the worst part of the job? Is there a worst part?
For me, yes, computers. But they're here to stay, so it's either get used to them or get out. And I'm getting used to them very, very slowly.
Is that because you think it's taken the skill away from what you...
It's
anybody can do it now, whereas before only people that were trained could do it?
It's taken away the job that I was taught. But that they've been in there for probably 15, 20 years. And I'm still not used to them.
No, I've just thought of this. So when you started, it was pounds, shillings and pence.
It was.
So that must have been quite tricky, clerking. Even trickier than it would be now.
I suppose it's a lot easier now, yes. But it was the currency that it was in the day.
So that's the worst part. What's the best part?
The best part of...
The best part of your job?
Going into work every day. That, as I said, it does give me a buzz. Opening those shutters up, welcoming me first customers, and yeah, it's great.
Do you still have to keep your eye open for known shrewdies or people that you think might be putting on bets for clever people,
Yes,
that sort of thing?
Yeah, this does happen. Not so much these days, but I've been, before Star Sports bought the shop, it was run by Lewis Cowan, and more so in those days, you had we call them the badder people. If they can see a weak part, they're trying to open you up to it.
Well, would that be like trying the old tricks like the slow count and that
slow
sort of
count,
thing?
yeah. Plus the bets which you can't read.
Right, so they're a bit ambiguous.
There have been in the time ambiguous bets, yeah. There have been in the time quite a few of those.
So would the machines, would they take away punters' money that would normally have been bet on the dogs or the football or the horses, or do you see a different type of person come in and play those?
Yeah, you've got 2 different sets of machines. You've got what we call the fobs, which are miniature gambling machines. Roulette was the main feature on those. Then you've got the BGTs, where people can put their money in the machines and bet on any sport. And it is taking money away from the counter in a way.
Yeah. Now you look very good for your age, I've got to say. And considering you've worked in a shop with no windows and a closed door, with people smoking like trains for at least 40 of those years, I mean, sure, the working environment's a lot better now.
It is, although having said that, I am a smoker. I suppose about every hour I pop out for a fag.
Kids, if you're
If we're
watching
not
this,
too busy.
you won't look like Tony at 80 if you smoke.